Hello again and thanks for joining. So this big long box has got an iconic German railcar and trailer. It's the VT98 of the Deutsche Bundesbahn. And this model is number 4400 in the Fleischmann HO range. Normally models of this are usually from Marklin or maybe Trix, and I've actually owned two of them myself in the past. I didn't know Fleischmann made one until I picked this one up, and it did come with a whole bunch of other Fleischmann items, so it came as a job lot. I'm not exactly sure how much this would cost on its own. I'm certainly quite interested to check it out, so let's get this open and we'll have a closer look. Well, normally you get an instruction sheet in with the model, but in this one it didn't come with it, so maybe it's been lost in the past somewhere. And also I noticed that these two models are permanently connected together, so I'm going to have to be pretty careful handling it, but let's give it a go and we'll take a closer look. So this one here in my hands is the power car. You can tell that because it's a lot heavier than the trailer, and straight away I'm actually not sure this is really up to normal Fleischmann standards when it comes to the moulding. The plastic doesn't seem to be that good, and also you'll notice as well that a lot of the decoration, the silver, has started to wear off this model. So I did say it was second hand, and you know it's probably getting on a little bit now, but it's something to bear in mind if you're thinking about getting this model, that this silver paint might actually wear away quite easily. Another thing you'll notice is it doesn't have flush fit glazing and it's quite frosted, and that's because here you can see that it has the motor right inside, and it's looking like the good old Fleischmann pancake motor inside there. So it's going to spoil the interior view of this model, but let's look beyond that. And at the front here, you know, we can see some windscreen wipers picked out there in silver, and that's just been moulded into the main window plastic. The main body is all maroon colour, and it's got the silver stripes on it, which are actually printed on pretty well, but you can see that it's starting to come away, like here in the corners and also up here. There's a nice amount of rivet detail, and it looks as though we possibly have lighting on this as well. The buffers look to be metal items which are pushed into the plastic body, and we've got the typical Fleischmann coupling hanging out the front here. Looking down the side, this part here at the bottom is painted black and masked off not too bad, although there is a bit of fuzziness here at the door. But what I do like about this moulding is the amount of rivet detail, very iconic of this rail car. And also we have the windows with the little splits at the top which have been picked out in silver. There's some printing here, but it's wearing away, but the 2 seems to be pretty good, as is the DB. And we have some other printing down here in the black area which is very clear. More masking issues at this door as well. And you can actually turn this model like this so you can see both ends at once. Looking on top, we have the horns, which is an extra piece in grey plastic which is added on. And then this part which has been masked off and painted silver. Pretty well done, I think. It's got a couple of air vents there too. And it also looks as though we've got possibly lighting here at the top of the cab. The trailer feels very light in comparison to the driving car, and it's very similar, but it does have some printing differences. Like it's missing a 2 here, instead it says Dellenstrom, I think it is. German's not that good, but I think that's what I was saying. And we have a little red panel at the other end, and I'm not quite sure what that's for. One less horn on the top of this one. We've only got one at this end and not at this end. But this is the same body moulding as the driving car, just some slight differences in the decoration. However, underneath you will see a difference. This one, okay, it's upside down. You can see Fleischmann made in West Germany. It gives you a hint about how old this model is. We've got this screw here, which I think holds the model together. The coupling is articulated here, and we have just 2 axles, and we've got pickup here as well. Looks a bit dirty as well, this one, so I'm hoping it's going to run okay. We'll give it a go in a moment. Not a huge amount of detail moulded into the bottom of the trailer here. We do have a couple of tanks and some indication of bracing. And then, as I said, we are permanently coupled together with this bar, which has some cables running across it, which I guess must be for light and pickup. This is the underside of the driving car. So here we have a metal chassis this time, and we have traction tires on this axle, but not on this axle. Maybe it picks up from here as well. You can see we have drive to both axles though. We've got the Fleischmann extra little stud here to operate line side accessories. This seems to be a bit jammed as well, so that might actually foul the track, so might have to do something with that in a moment. And again, this screw here, which I think might actually be to take it apart. We've got some more tanks at the front and another little piece moulded in as well. So a bit more detail on the bottom of the chassis of this one. So I'm going to see what happens when we take this screw off. Hopefully the model will come apart. We can have a look at the motor. So when I took it apart there, this piece, the windows just fell out. They actually just slot into the body like that, but there should be some glue holding it in, so I'm just going to glue these back in. And an old favourite on this channel, it's the Formula 560 canopy glue, which I use whenever I'm gluing in clear plastic. It doesn't frost. I think this is pretty good. I've had this for many years and I've not used it all up yet, so it's a great product. Anyway, I'm not sponsored by them, but I'm going to use this. So while that glue's drying, we can get on with the rest of it. So you probably noticed that when I was taking this apart, I did another screw which took this piece off because I didn't want to snap the cable there. And this is an entire lighting outfit. It's made of metal. It has 2 bulbs inside there, and it obviously transmits light along these parts here to the appropriate pieces on the body. So that's quite interesting, quite extensive as well. And I now realise that the body clips on at the back here, and it's just held on with these little pieces of plastic because this slides in to fix it to the chassis. Quite an interesting way of doing it. I've not seen that being done before. And here is the chassis. You can see the motor here. It's got quite big gear wheels, a bit of hair on it as well. But it all seems to work okay. That's good. And looking inside the motor there, it doesn't actually look that dirty, which is great as well. Although some dirt is coming off of my finger as I do this, so maybe these gear wheels need a little bit of oil. So I'll do that just now and then put it back together and we'll give it a run. Well, it was super fiddly to get that screw back in there and hold that wire back on. But I got there eventually with the help of a pair of tweezers. But my advice is, if you don't have to, don't take that screw off. Well, we're all back together, but that was really fiddly. I hope I don't have to take this model apart again. Anyway, we're on the test track now. This is, as usual, Hornby 3rd radius, and I'm using my H&M controller on 12 volts DC to give it some power. So let's see what happens. Well, it doesn't run that great. Maybe it's the pickups, so I'm just going to give them a clean on the trailer and then we'll give it another go.
A few moments later.
Well, it's a bit of a crap runner, this one. It's really suffering from the pickups. I actually cleaned them up there. There's a lot of fibres on it. Maybe they were being run on Sam's carpet or something because it was really quite dirty. But even cleaning up those contacts and cleaning up the wheels, it still doesn't run that great. Once it gets going, it's fine, but it's just that initial start. So maybe the pickups aren't so good. Anyway, let's put it on the scales and we'll check out how much it weighs. So this model weighs 258 grams. So Fleischmann's model of the VT98 Railcar, well, I'm not so sure about this one. Normally I absolutely love Fleischmann stuff, but I think this isn't one of their best models at all by a long shot. There are a couple of things I do like about this model. For example, it's got the motor which most models in the Fleischmann range had, so it's going to be reliable and keep on going when it gets power anyway. And I actually noticed that the lights are directional as well. They shine white when it's going forward and it's red when it's going backwards, which is quite nice. Especially considering these are just bulbs that are in here, not LEDs. But there's no getting away from the fact that the pickups on this is absolutely rubbish. They've tried their best with the connection and putting power between the two models, but it's just not good enough, and it's not up to Fleischmann's normal standards. I think the trailer is possibly a little bit too light. It could definitely benefit from some weight in there. So it's not Fleischmann's best outing, that's for sure. And does it stack up against the Marklin one? I think probably not. But you know, this will be a lot cheaper than it. So it's maybe worth considering if you like this particular model, but I think you might have to do a lot of work to it. But that's only my thoughts. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know what you think. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps this channel. Now I'll put this on the turntable so you can see all the way around. Thanks for watching this with me. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.
So model train, model worlds, choo choo, model trains, tiny worlds, choo choo, model trains, tiny model worlds, choo choo, model trains, tiny